It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience, when soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, monarchs innovate and push each other further. Reign on. See how monarchs reign.
Big cities, big names, big legacies, big sisters and brothers, big ideas, big expectations, big stage, big results. That's the Big East way.
Bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us. Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us. Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us. It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Big cities, big names, big legacies, big sisters and brothers, big ideas, big expectations, big stage, big results. That's the Big East way.
It's Championship Sunday here in Hamden, Connecticut, as you're looking on the campus of Quinnipiac University for the final of the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championships presented by Jeep. It's the number 1 seed UConn and the number 2 seed Old Dominion. Alongside Kirsten Gebhardt and Megan Caffrey shortly, I'm JJ Duke. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday here with us. Kirsten, we saw the semifinals just a couple of days ago. These two teams are peaking at the right time. Should be a very entertaining championship game.
It really should in a lot of ways. They're similar. They have really strong goalkeeping. They have a couple players they're keying off of in their attack. It'll be interesting to see what they do structurally against each other to put each other on their heels.
Let's take a look at our players to watch. Rebecca Birch, the senior from England, first team all-conference member. She has to be the key cog in defense.
Yeah, she's coming out. She's a really strong goalkeeper. She's coming out. She's pretty aggressive. Oops, sorry. We're talking about Rebecca Birch. Rebecca Birch, she's really she's a great distributor out of their backfield, and then she does a great job when she's going up on the attack penalty corner. She's the one that really is taking most of their shots, and that's how she got most of her points this season. She's a really versatile player and an important piece of UConn's attack.
And for UConn, Svea Boker, an outstanding attacker out of Bremen, Germany. She was the the offensive player of the year. And again, if she gets rolling early, the rest of the team goes.
Yeah, we didn't see too much from her in their game against Providence, but she's definitely going to be an important person for ODU's defense to cover today. She's really lethal on attack, and all the work she's done this season, it's definitely somebody that they're going to be a key player that they're going to be watching.
For more on this matchup, let's send it down to the field now with Megan Caffrey.
JJ, the UConn Huskies are playing for their 8th straight Big East tournament title today, whereas the ODU Monarchs are in the Big East tournament final for the first time since 2013. And the Monarchs feel like they have the opportunity to do something really special here today. ODU head coach Andrew Griffiths told me, yes, yesterday they came to the practice facility to go over things. However, they really used yesterday to rest and recover, not only physically, but mentally as well. All of the players' families are here. They had time to spend with their parents, go out to dinner, and really come into today rest and refocused.
Well, that rest and refocus is certainly going to be needed here as we're underway. Old Dominion wearing their road dark jerseys, UConn in their home whites. And yeah, as we look at this game, Kirsten, Old Dominion, we saw UConn not have the best offensive day against Providence, and a fair play to the Friars how they came out and absorbed pressure and hit on the counter. Old Dominion, that kind of works in their favor, though.
It really does, and in just the first few looks of this game, it's clear that ODU is going to just hold off a little bit in their press and then just really key in on one of these side backs where they're going to put some pressure on. And we saw yesterday when they were playing Liberty, ODU likes to really put one striker high. And I talked to Coach Stevens about this before the game, and she said that's something that they're going to have to really drop a defender back, make sure she's covering her, and that's going to be something that's going to stretch the UConn defense today.
Yeah, as UConn comes in, they know how outstanding they are defensively. Of course, they're led by their great goalkeeper, Cheyenne Sprecher, who comes into this contest a goals against of .75, which is saying, well, she's only going to allow 3 goals every 4 games. This is someone that comes in, gets the job done, but she's working with a very young defensive group. And when talking with Nancy Stevens throughout this weekend, she's always adamant in saying this is not like every other UConn team. There's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomore, and for them, this may be just their first or second time in postseason play. As Old Dominion immediately on the attack. This is Ilsa Westra, and she'll work it back. But yeah, they're going to have to figure their way out and how to get the job done.
Yeah, Cheyenne leads the nation in her goals against average, and I think it speaks to her as a veteran goalkeeper that not only is she making the saves, but she's doing a really great job of organizing her young backfield to just limit the number of shots that they're giving up in a game. So she's an important piece of UConn's defense. She's going to be a vocal leader as well as a technical leader in her save-making abilities.
We saw how good UConn is on the counterattack. They nearly had something there. Foul goes against Old Dominion. And UConn will reset. They do have great speed out wide, and of course at top with Svea Boker. Keep an eye also on Maddie Ray, the sophomore from Harpenden, England, who had an outstanding semifinal, a goal and an assist in the victory against Providence. She's one of those players that you don't always focus on because the high strength that UConn has, they have many players who could put the ball into the back of the cage, but Ray having a pretty decent sophomore year, 7 goals and 7 assists. And this is Ray here to the near side and generates a foul. Just a couple of minutes in, both teams really trying to figure this one out early on. Jessica Dembrowski, the junior from Palmyra, Pennsylvania, drawing another foul. She'll send this one into the area momentarily.
And you want to remember when you take a free hit inside the 25, the ball has to move 5 yards, either dribbling or passing, or it can hit off a defender's stick. So you're going to see the umpires be very clear about where they want the free hit. So some players will want to take it on the hash mark and have that 5 yards. But it's harder as you get closer to the circle because you're going to have to move the ball a lot more. There's less space, but the umpires are going to make sure that they play it in the right space today.
You saw Cam McGillivray's numbers, the redshirt sophomore from Calgary, Alberta. We talk often enough about Sprecher, but this goalie that the Monarchs have, she is special as well. A goals against just south of 2. But she's basically been the day out, day in starter. In fact, when she had to come out, Kirsten, against in the semifinals against Liberty. She took a little bit of a knock to the nose underneath the cage. Lauren Arledge saw her first action of the season, and it just came in a league semifinal. No pressure, right?
No pressure at all. These two goalkeepers are two of the most elite goalkeepers in the country, but they have really, really different styles. So Cheyenne is somebody who's going to be more of a stay-at-home goalkeeper. So instead of coming out and being aggressive, she's going to rely on her defense to put pressure on the ball, and she's just going to be on angle, do a lot of organizing, and make those saves. And like we saw yesterday against Liberty, Cam is a goalkeeper that's a lot more aggressive. She comes out aggressively to pressure the ball, which is always something that can throw your attackers off. To have a goalkeeper so close coming out, and it's always a surprising thing. But I think it can leave some holes because it's a lot more organizing that your defenders have to do. I think we saw a defensive save yesterday from one of the defenders because Cam had to come out and make a save.
Yeah, it was Marley McClendon turning wide a shot from Daniela Rhodes, as we'll go the other way. And it was interesting, if you saw that shot a moment ago from the UConn goalie Sprecher, she had Tori Harwood right off of her back shoulder. That's something you're going to see often here from Old Dominion. They love to have, as Kirsten said, one forward who will stay high. It's going to be up to Sprecher to talk and communicate quickly with their back three, because someone has to follow whoever this almost cherry picker will be in attack.
Yeah, both of these coaching staffs, it's just an expectation that you're going to have forwards extending the cage is what we like to call it. So standing outside the post, just making the goal bigger, make the goalkeeper's job a lot harder, create a little bit more chaos in the circle.
Birch will send this one into the circle. A little deflection. Sprecher out of her cage for a moment of a wild swing. Puts, well, UConn under some moments of pressure, but Harwood wasn't able to get enough onto it. It'll be sent the length to the far side. But that's, again, what Old Dominion will do. They're going to create chaos. They're going to send a couple players forward and remind your defense, oh, make sure if the ball doesn't get behind you, it might go in.
Yeah, I think this is something that is unique to the UConn attack. They like to throw those aerial balls into the circle. And as fans will remember from yesterday, when an aerial ball is coming down, the player needs to be given 5-yard radius to settle the ball before anybody can sort of encroach. So when they throw into the circle, it makes a huge amount of decision making for the goalkeepers and the defenders. And Nancy Stevens, we talked to her earlier about it. She's well aware of that as something that UConn or Old Dominion does. She's prepared her defenders, and we'll see how they handle it today.
Into the 7th minute here. Still looking for the game's first clear-cut opportunity. Svea Boker was nearly sent through the central seam. You have to watch out for this outstanding attacking unit. Not only is Boker there, Ray as well, but keep on the likes of a Sophie Hamilton coming out of the midfield. Antonia Titka, who plays defense but is one of the nation's leaders in assists. She actually, though, had the goal, the game winner in essence, in the 3rd quarter against Providence. Just her 4th of the season, but when the hour comes about, keep an eye on 20 in white because she will provide, but she does get her share of goals too. The Monarchs, though, getting possession back. That's Elise Demars wearing the number 11 jersey, a product out of France.
And this is the player that you're going to want to watch, Rebecca Birch. We talked about it at the beginning. She's so versatile, but she can do so much. So she looks to make these long passes to that high striker. But she's also talented enough to be good in her small game and get out of some tight spaces as well.
A defender trip to the far side. A chance here for Old Dominion to hit on the counter. Ball looking to try and find Demeester on the way through, and a foul gets called, and they're going to stop play. The players on both sides here having some difficulty with the footing. Now remember, of course, the wet playing surface, but on Friday, because the temperatures were so cold they couldn't even water the field at halftime, we did see a very, very tough injury for Lizzie Hamlet. As you'll take a look at this last sequence, it was a stick that came through, and oh, that one's going to sting. That's Erin Huffman, who's very slow to get up.
It's hard to tell if she got, tied up with the defender there, if it was a stick that got her ankle, but she appears to be in a lot of pain, which is going to be a loss for the ODU attack. She's, I believe, 2nd in goals this year and an important factor in their attacking penalty corners. They clearly are a deep and talented team, so they'll miss her, but I'm sure that they have enough players that are able to step up and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, Huffman, an all-conference honoree, 8 goals this year. This is her senior season as well, and she probably, out of the most of the group, was looking forward to playing in this game.
It doesn't look like she's putting any weight on that right leg, so we'll see if she is able to make it back into the game later today. The ODU training staff is going to be attending to her immediately, and we have a free hit coming into the circle, so we've got to make sure everybody's 5 yards away. It's an interesting trick play from ODU, trying to get a corner from somebody jumping in on that 5-yard radius. But
and now here comes a counter for UConn. It's even numbers. Going forward as Boker has a pass to the far side.
That's a great intercept.
But still comes with Sophie Hamilton trying to drive into the circle, getting it to end line, but she just ran out of room to that far wing. But again, UConn, they know that Old Dominion's going to come hit with the counter, but when teams get stretched, this game is going to become wide open. Let's see now how the Monarchs do respond as that long ball just is out of the reach of the stretching Ashley Thomas to the far side. Well, let's see how Old Dominion responds now with losing one of their talented attacking players in Huffman, who's going to come and fill the void. Riley Taylor has jumped up into the front row. She had a goal in the victory, one of the better players for Old Dominion on Friday in their win against Liberty. Again towards Thomas in the circle. A carry just out for a moment, but sends that one behind.
You know, UConn scouted Rebecca Birch. They know she likes the long ball, but it still doesn't mean that it's any less lethal. They know that it's coming and they're prepared for it, but she just found the right gap. And even though it just missed and went over the end line for the ODU attack, they're still able to step up and get their pressing set up so that they can come down back at UConn with a counterattacking opportunity.
This is Courtney Kennedy, junior from Watertown, Massachusetts. Old Dominion's going to do that a lot. We saw it in their semifinal against Liberty. Take away the middle, force teams to break you down out wide, and more often than not, it's going to force turnovers. Long ball ahead, gets past McClendon. This will find Boker with a great touch, able to beat one defender. Foul called, quickly taken by Marie Auer. Here to the near side, this is Maddie Ray in on goal. The drive kicked away by McGillivray. The first big stop there for the ODU keeper.
What a great play. UConn was numbers down, but they still found a way to break through that ODU attack and really attack the backside of the circle. Great shot, great save.
That's something you see often from the Monarchs, lofting that ball from one end to the other. UConn did it perfectly. A great release to find the goal scorer from the last contest, Maddie Ray. Ultimately denied. Comes back to Abby Gooderham. She also gets lost in the picture a little bit, Gooderham, but got all conference honors with just only 25 points on the season. As it'll be a foul and UConn to restart here. Tiedka, ball into the area and ODU will keep it away.
It's really interesting, the UConn backfield, it's always in a back three, so they have 2 side backs and a full back, but you know, any of these players can really play these positions, and you can see each of the players sort of fluidly moving in and out of the midfield and making it a little bit harder for the ODU defense in this press to cover the right lines, because they can do it all, and they're doing a good job of just moving the ball, keeping some good structure, and putting a lot of pressure on UConn's press.
Hamilton trying to go through, and a neat little touch there to bypass a defender. It'll be possession staying with UConn. Gooderham into the area. She'll get a second chance. 4:18 left to go in the first quarter, but that chance from Ray just a moment ago was the first opportunity. But now Old Dominion on a counter. It's 3v4 at the moment. A stretch pass, nearly finding Miyafuchi. This will go all the way back. Let's send it down now to Megan Caffrey, who has an update on Erin Huffman.
Thanks, JJ. Well, ODU training staff was just working on Erin's right ankle is what it looks like. She did just walk into the trainer's room. She could barely put any weight on that ankle, and you could just see in her face a lot of pain, but also a lot of frustration. So I'll let you know if I see her come out of the training room.
Thank you for that update, Megan. Yeah, again, it's challenging for Old Dominion because this is a player. She's not the key striker, but she is one of the players that the Monarchs have to go to get goals.
Yeah, and she's a veteran player too. So in that last play, when ODU came up with the ball, was one of the few times they didn't have that really high striker to stretch UConn's defense and open up attacking opportunities. So you have to wonder if losing Erin Huffman and that discipline up front is going to affect their ability to really stretch the field for the rest of the game.
Foul against Lindsay Dickinson, as the official said that she went in just a little too aggressively on that. She's part of that very young defensive group that the Huskies have to offer. The combination of her along with Kennedy and Tiedka, the lone senior of the defense and only just one of 2 on the Huskies roster.
Yeah, and you'll see the umpire making that motion where he sort of sweeps his hand across the back side of his other hand. In field hockey, we have 2 sides of our stick. There's the flat side and then the rounded side, and you can only play the ball on the rounded side, or the flat side. But now we have a lot more reverse passes, reverse tackles, and if you ever catch it on the backside, that's going to be a foul going against you.
Another shot going wide. Ray once again getting through. Now again, we've talked about the talented players like Boker, like Tidka, and others, but I have truly been impressed by Maddie Ray here in this tournament. Again, a goal and assist against Providence. All she's done in the regular season against Big East opponents with 11 points. Long run for Tori Harwood, but she cannot catch up onto that. But yeah, these are the moments that I think for, not to say secondary, that's a knock on them, but the players that don't get the limelight, these are the days where they get to shine truly.
And as a coach, this is the time you want them to come alive because, you know, all the scouting that these coaches have done leading up to these games, they've identified key players. And if you have someone really rise to the occasion and just be another attacking strength for you, it's going to be hard for teams to adjust to that and sort of change their game plan on the fly to take into account somebody like Maddie Ray.
Good step through and a chance for Old Dominion to come forward. This is Nicole Fredericks. She scored her 2nd career goal in the last game, a victory over Liberty. Freshman from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Decent ball, forces a stop from Sprecher. Wasn't sure about that. I don't know if that one did take a touch off Taylor's stick on the way through, but the goalkeeper had to be aware, and it'll be possession back to the Huskies. Again here, you see this chance, and well, you never know if your Sprecher is immediately on the counter here, the near side ball sent across. That was destined for the sake of McKenna Sergi, and a penalty corner to come, the first of this contest.
You know, UConn is just so lethal in their set pieces, and set pieces are attack, penalty corners, something like a stroke opportunity. This is just where their strengths are, so you have to think that ODU's one of their game plans was just to start tackling outside the circle, not give these opportunities to UConn, but they just have so many variations that they can do from the top of the circle because of the talent that they have. So we know that we have Claire Yondeverth. She's a younger player for UConn, but she's got a really lethal sweep, and she has a great drag flick, but they can also key off of Addie Guterham, who has a really great shot from the top of the circle. So there's going to be a lot for UConn to defend here.
So it'll be Tidka to insert from the far side. Low shot, kicked away well by McGillivray, still loose in the area. Auer fighting for it. Referee looking for advantage, but it's played off. And it will be now another opportunity to come on the corner. But you know, that was a good drive, but a better save from McGillivray.
Yeah, she really stretched to make that save. And it's a little tough because you have to be prepared for the rebounds too. So that might be something that UConn tries to take advantage of in the future, just really extending her and try and pick up on the rebounds.
Let's see what routine UConn goes with here. Remember, the Huskies had over a half dozen corners in their first game of this tournament against Providence. Had a number of different routines. None got through Lydia Rice. That's a good stop from McGillivray. Another drag kicked away, and in fact, the ball went too high. So we're going to go back on the other way. And let's go again back downstairs to Megan. She has more updates on Erin Huffman.
Thanks, JJ. Well, I just saw the ODU training staff bringing in a bunch of bandages and wraps into the training room, so we can assume that they potentially might be wrapping her up. And I'll let you know if I see her come back out onto the sidelines with a wrapped up ankle.
Certainly would be a big development for Old Dominion if they can get Huffman back on the field. Even if at 50-60%, she still provides a presence for the Monarchs. As we're under 20 seconds to go left here in this first quarter. Cam McGillivray showing off all of her bags of tricks thus far. She's come up with a couple of decent saves. Sent away here the near side, and ODU just looking to see out the remaining few seconds, and it looks like they're going to do that. So first 15 minutes in the book here. 1v2 in the seeds, and we're scoreless after one. We'll step aside, much more to come. You're watching the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience, when soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, Monarchs innovate and push each other further. Rain on. See how Monarchs reign.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us.
Moments away from the second quarter beginning between Old Dominion and UConn. Outstanding work from Cam McGillivray in goal for the Monarchs with a trio of top-notch saves. And for Old Dominion, they're going to have to rely on that more. But what I have liked, Kirsten, from the Monarchs, they are showing their presence on attack. They've created a couple of half opportunities.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of 25-yard line penetrations, and they're getting into the circle. But the thing that's really they're gonna need to do in the rest of this game is to get some shots off. So as soon as they get into the circle, either looking to get a shot off or looking to get a foot or a foul, so they can have some attack penalty corner opportunities. Because as much as it's a strength for UConn, it's a strength for ODU too. They have a lot of options. They're super crisp, and they have some talented players at the top of the circle that can put the ball in the cage.
All three shots of the day thus far going to the Huskies as they'll get the restart here in this second quarter. And, of course, this is the first year of the new timing mechanisms in NCAA field hockey as opposed to the past. Two 35-minute halves are going 4 15-minute quarters as the NCAA trying to line things up with the international game. And I think for players, for fans, for coaches, and for broadcasters alike, we like the new system. Let's keep it that way. As this ball sent in. It should be a corner. Referee, waited for a minute. In fact, it's going to be a foul against UConn. I thought that was going to be. Referee had the hand to the whistle, but said it's going to be a foul against the Huskies.
You know, you really want to watch where a ball makes contact with the body. If it's below the knee and hits the shin guard or the foot, that's usually going to be going against the attack or the defender. But if it's raised above your knee, into your body, or on your thigh, then that's going to be causing danger. So it'll be going the other way. And I think maybe he saw it go up into a thigh instead of a foot. So he was holding to see what the defense could do with the ball.
Now remember also, we will have video referrals. Teams do have one challenge if they want to use it, and referees, if they need to, there is an unlimited supply of video referrals.
And teams can only use video, or teams and umpires can only use the video referrals in certain situations. So it has to be a play that's going to result in a goal, a corner, or a stroke. So it can't be used out in the midfield and in the field of play. That was some great umpiring from Ridge. Bear here, he's looking at, remember, you can't obstruct, you can't keep anybody from being able to play with the ball. And in this situation here, the UConn defender just held down the stick of Nicole Fredericks, so she was unable to play the ball.
I think the fishing's been good all weekend. It's been consistent. I think that's the most part, especially with the restarts. They're not allowing teams to kind of get that maybe fraction of a movement with the ball. Okay, we allow it. No, this week you take it from the spot, and that's it.
And these are the venues where you want to keep things really tight because so much is on the line. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping everything equal, that people are taking the ball where they should be. They're not eliminating players with their free hits, and they're just being crisp, and I do think the umpires have done a great job so far.
Possession back over the Huskies here to the near side. You can start to hear a little bit of the restlessness from the UConn faithful traveling down from Storrs. Only about 45-minute drive or so, depending on traffic, of course. But they saw nearly 2.5 quarters without a goal in the last match. And similar here today, and it looks like a card's going to be coming out. And UConn going to be down a player here as Vivienne Tucker, junior from the Netherlands, will sit for 2 minutes. So first opportunity and a numerical advantage for the Monarchs. Let's see how they operate it.
Yeah, we use cards in field hockey as just a way to sort of enforce the game, and she'll be out for 2 minutes. When you get a green card, A green card is usually used. In that case, you can't hit the ball away. It's seen as a sort of delay of the game and a bit unsportsmanlike to just knock the ball away. And another reason usually you see a green card come out is when players are encroaching on that 5-yard rule that you have to stay 5 yards until a free hit is taken. So we might see a couple more of those throughout the game for those little infractions. But it can always be elevated to a yellow card, and usually that's for some more reckless play, coming in from behind, tackling, creating any sort of danger. And you can be out with a yellow card from anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. That's at the umpire's discretion.
Now, there is the red card, but as we said on Friday, never seen it happen. This one waffle boarded away by McGillivray. Had to be safe with that, as right on the doorstep was Hamilton.
And it looks like UConn's sort of giving ODU a taste of their own medicine, throwing that aerial ball into the circle. It's not something we've seen UConn do a lot this year, and it's certainly something that they scouted against ODU, knows that that is part of the ODU attack. So I guess they just wanted to see how ODU defense would handle it themselves.
Thus far doing an all right job, though. UConn have generated 2 chances and a corner to come. So UConn doing this, mind you, down a player. The clock will stop, as UConn now will set up this penalty corner opportunity. And for the Huskies, this is one of the best teams in the nation from these sorts of restarts. They have scored now 20 goals off of corners this season. Did get one in the semifinal a couple of days ago against the Friars.
And being a player down, you're going to want to look and see what they do with their formation here. So you always leave a defender or 2 back off of the circle in case of a counterattack, because you're putting so many numbers up on the circle. You want to be prepared if the ball does come out that you can still defend. And it looks like they're going to take 1 player off of the circle and make sure they still have these 2 players back to defend if anything breaks down.
Once again, it'll be Antonia Tiedka to insert from the far side. Comes all the way through. The drag flick kicked away easily, but McGillivray still loose in the circle. And another good stop there for the redshirt sophomore from Calgary, Alberta.
She almost looked like an ice hockey keeper there, but that's definitely a high-level skill that's being employed a lot more by our international game. You know, laying your leg down to create a block on a save.
Immediately a chance for Old Dominion. That pass nearly getting all the way through, but Hamilton, how about that for balance on her knees, able to get that out cleanly.
That was a great defensive play. She made an awesome tackle intercept, and then she was just looking to get the ball out and could even create a great counter-attacking opportunity for a team. A super effort.
Erica Solomon will earn the restart for her team, as we're nearly just about back to even strength. I think actually we are for UConn.
Yeah, and you can sense the fans are getting a little fired up because they can see right down the sideline. But in field hockey, the line is in, so the ball has to go all the way over the line for it to be off the field and create a side-in opportunity. So I think you got that one right. It's hard to see from this angle, but fans didn't think so. But have to remember, line is in.
Now, we talk about this here because, of course, this is a neutral field. But with UConn pretty much being the pseudo-home team, being the much closer team geographically, you can have an extra 300 or 400 referees right on top of the action. Not to say that's going to influence, but it's certainly going to create a little extra in the atmosphere today.
It will definitely add to the atmosphere, and I am sure that these umpires are just so grateful for all the help that they're getting from the fans.
You say that with a big smile
on
your
face.
face.
Do you sense the sarcasm?
But, yeah, hey, it's never an easy job to be an umpire, referee, lineswoman in any sport. Give them, of course, the best credit as well, as this pass knocked away. A chance for Tori Harwood once again to get on a run. Hasn't had too many opportunities to try to chase down these long balls, but certainly given it an effort, but immediately will come off as she needs a breather.
And we can see that off the ball a little bit, things are getting a little bit pushy. People are really trying to stay strong on the ball and use their bodies to keep the defenders away. And they're just going to have to be careful about that to make sure that it's as they're playing the ball and not off the ball, because that's when we're going to get into a situation where people might be leaving the game.
Good surge from Jess Miller to the far side, but she does put it behind. And again, Old Dominion showing that UConn, that was Alexandria Brewer. My apologies there, but Brewer and Old Dominion showing that they have the capability to get out wide and try to beat UConn for speed. Even though the Huskies are having the better of the attacking possession, Old Dominion are still putting a seed into the back of the mind of Sprecher, of the UConn defense, to say, hey, we can't just forget about the rest of the group.
They're getting a lot of these opportunities, but coming up with these intercepts because their press is strong. They're really disciplined in it. But this is where they need to finish, just in this last attacking third. They're getting it in there. They're coming up with the intercepts, but they just have to be more disciplined about getting a shot off or getting a corner opportunity so that they can actually test this goalkeeper.
Ilsa Wester, unfortunate there, sending it through to Taylor, but it hit off of her ankles and will go the other way. Good pressure by Robin Murray to the far side. Coming up with a needed stop. Pinning it up against the corner. Now this allows Old Dominion to get a few players ahead here. That one taken away. Brewer now back towards Taylor. Trying to earn a corner. Oh, but it's going to be a foul against Old Dominion. Well, Taylor gets dumped over.
And that'll be a green card, and pretty clearly that's just for creating some danger, and I think there was just some body contact off the ball. There's a lot on the line here, so these players are going to be fighting really hard. Oh, no, I think it was pretty unintentional, but the umpire was right there, so it might have been something a little bit after the play. So sometimes, we all just get wrapped up in the sticks and you go down. So 2 minutes seems fair.
Yeah, it's going to be Gooderham, the one that will come off here. So UConn, for the second time in this contest, down a player. Second time in this quarter that they'll be down a player, but it didn't seem to phase them too much. In fact, a little extra space might help them. Dangerous pass, though. Poor off the restart by Hamilton. Fortunate that Tiedka was in the right place at the right time to take it away.
I'm really impressed with ODU's press right now. They are being very disciplined of just holding the midfield, sending one or two players high, and they're getting their sticks just in the right passing lane and really turning over this UConn defense.
Harwood once again with the active stick. However, UConn able to get it away, albeit just for the moment. Good work by Brewer to take it right back.
She's doing a great job of using her body to cut off this recovering defender and create some more space for herself. So we'll see what ODU can do here now that they're in the attacking third.
Once again, Rebecca Birch over this. Not only does she like to hit the big ball, she can score a fair share of goals. Does have 9 this season, in addition to her 7 assists. Currently sitting on 59 career points. All the way to the near side. Old Dominion looking for a corner. That'll be a foot, though, against the Monarchs, and UConn again a chance to break out here.
These umpires are just going to be looking for the anybody who's taking a free hit to stop the ball. They don't have to stop it completely, but they at least have to make a motion that they're checking the ball so they can establish that 5-yard rule. It's really important that they have 5-yard radius around the ball from any defenders, that they have to wait until they start to pressure. So if you don't stop it, the umpires don't know where it's going to be taken.
Another foul against the Monarchs, and UConn will send this long. Not a bad ball. Boker waited for it, but McClendon, again, she had the one that had the goal line save against Daniela Rhodes of Liberty on Friday. That was the game changer, to be fair, because it looked like Rhodes was starting to get herself into it, the Big East Rookie of the Year.
She's a really solid defender, and she's not a flashy player. She's obviously not up on the attack and somebody that you're paying attention to on the ball, but she does such a solid job of being in the right space as a defender and coming up with these intercepts, and does a good job of keeping the ball after she comes up with it, getting a pass to her teammates, and she just has this nice, quiet presence in the backfield.
Green card going to be shown here to Nicole Fredericks. So in fact, we're going to be playing even tennis side here for a few seconds. And by the way, I should take away that as Rhodes was the overall Rookie of the Year in the league.
The umpire's going to be really tight on this coming in. We call it coming in from behind. So if somebody's dribbling the ball towards the cage and there's a defender behind them, sort of coming in from behind and putting some pressure on. It's okay to put some pressure on, get your stick in the way, but if you make any contact with the body or really make any sort of motion coming down on the ball, they're going to get on you for that because it's just dangerous, and it really breaks the play down.
Good defensive work there by Birch, coming back and getting the stop. By the way, UConn now up a player as Gooderham is out of the box. However, Old Dominion looking to play down here this near channel. Ashley Thomas, bit of a heavy touch though, and UConn will work it back through the middle. Hamilton, a decision to turn away, thought about letting that one go. A miss hit there by Claire Yondevert to the far side. However, scrambled back up by Dembrowski. Under 4 minutes left to go here in this second quarter. UConn thinking that it should have been their possession, as Svea Boker making a run that would have come back anyways.
And the ball will be back with Rebecca Birch, so we'll see if she tries to play this short game or get it up to this high striker that's really hanging out by the baseline. So she's electing to play it to the side, but they're definitely going to try and keep playing this ball up the sideline, take advantage of this space that they have. But UConn's doing a great job of utilizing that sideline. We like to call it utilizing the sideline as another defender, because obviously can't go over it. So if you use it to your advantage, really channel these attackers into a corner of the field, make it a lot easier for yourself as a defender.
Marie Auer looking for that pass. Good stick by McClendon, once again stepping up. Not too long left before going to be back on even strength, as Fredericks sitting out with the green card. And in fact, she gets waved on. So Old Dominion see off that 2-minute green card. Under 3 minutes left to go here in this first half. Shots 5-0 for UConn at the moment. Birch once again winding into the area. Oh, that was dangerous there as Harwood was right on the doorstep.
The umpires really don't like this coming from behind, and ODU is going to have to change the way that they're approaching the ball, because I don't think this is going to end. If they're going to continue to come in from behind and really make this downward motion with their stick, the umpires are just going to keep sending players off. So they're going to have to work on keeping their sticks on the ground, really sort of sliding them against the turf so that they're not making any sort of motion that can be construed as dangerous.
So UConn now back on the player advantage here. Harwood will sit, and this won't take it immediately all the way to the end of the second quarter, but nearly there. UConn just waiting to get that chance here. They've had a few dangerous moments. Cam McGillivray with 3 very good saves in the first quarter. However, Old Dominion looking to make a run on the counter. That pass got knocked down by Maddie Ray. Both teams have actually done a really good job. When down a player, it doesn't seem to phase them. In fact, maybe it might spur them to go on for a bit more offense.
I think so, and you can tell now that ODU's press, they were using that 11th player to really put pressure on the ball, but because they're down one, they've dropped a forward into the midfield line, but it's actually worked to their advantage because they're just covering these really great intercepting lines and cutting off any sort of forward passes from UConn.
Good stretch to the far side, but the pass towards Boker was caught up. However, McClendon gets called for the foul.
Just got to be careful about passing that ball away, especially now we've had a few cards on the.
Well, that was a good drive by Boker to the far side. Skip past both Auer and Ray. Old Dominion missed that, but yeah, back to your point. They could have been called for a delay of game there. We'll see this chance from Boker. Not too far off, and we haven't seen enough of those. Just ball into the circle. That's a good question out of Old Dominion.
Yeah, since we've had so many cards so far today, I think the coaches, especially at halftime, are probably going to be talking to their teams about just really tightening up on their defense, being 5 yards away, not touching the ball after a free hit, because it's just not something they're going to be able to afford as time winds down the second half. They're going to need a full slate of players on the field.
Dombrowski will chase us down by the far pylon. Not a bad ball across, actually nearly gets home. And a corner to get called. Wow, the referee saw something there. You're pointing immediately, Kirsten. So what did Old Dominion do? It seemed like it was just basic knock behind.
So one of the rules in field hockey is that a defender can't purposefully put the ball over the end line. So a goalkeeper can in one of her clears, but if you look like you are stopping the ball and you're just passing it over the end line to clear it away and take away any chance, that's going to be a corner. So sometimes it's in a tackle if you just swing through and you take the ball over the end line, or sometimes if you clear it and the umpire decides that you were doing that just to get the ball over the end line, they're going to give you a corner.
Third corner of the match here for the Huskies. This drive well blocked away. Good coming off the fly there by Jess Miller. And Old Dominion will play to the far side. Maybe one last chance here on the counter. It's 2-on-1. Riley Taylor taking it wide enough. Good track back by Gooderham. And that went off the foot. And now UConn, perhaps do they see it out to halftime? Maybe not. Good outlet pass to find Maddie Ray. Might just lump this ball into the area. Doesn't. Foul called, and that should just about do it here for the first half. So, Kirsten, quick thought. Have you seen this first 30 minutes?
ODU is doing a great job in their press, being in the right intercepting lines, but they just have to finish. When they come up with it, they have to sort of reward themselves for all this defensive effort, get the ball into the circle, get a shot, get some corners, and really be a little bit stronger on their attack. They're doing a really great job on the counter, but they've got to finish. And UConn, it's the same deal. They have to put the ball in the cage. They're getting a lot of attempts, but I think they have to test the keeper a bit more.
Much more to come. You're watching Championship Sunday here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience. When soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, Monarchs innovate and push each other further. Rain on. See how Monarchs reign.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us.
One of the positives about the sports business in the last couple of years, and in recent years in particular, has been the growing interest in seeing our industry become a more diverse and inclusive place.
I find it important for us to amplify the voices of those who have not traditionally had a seat at the table. As a Black African woman, my various social identities are always at the forefront of my daily interactions, from my first name, my culture, to where I'm from. So for me, diversity is about us celebrating our uniqueness as a society.
A lot of what happens in terms of diversifying workforce in the college world happens at the campus level. That's really where the core hiring takes place. The schools are responsible for hiring their directors of athletics, their staffs, their coaches. And so the conference is really a step away from that activity, but I think conferences can and should set a tone. And so in the Big East, we have tried to make diversity and inclusion a conference strategic priority. We have, for example, within our conference SAC group, designated a diversity and inclusion officer. D&I has become an important topic of discussion at SAC meetings. And our D&I officer is now included into the conference-wide diversity and inclusion working group that we've created.
I currently serve as the conference's Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This position is charged with ensuring that the conference carries out its commitment to inclusion for all. And I assist the conference staff in creating opportunities for student athletes from different backgrounds to come together to share and exchange ideas. I also work closely with the Big East Diversity and Inclusion Working Group.
You know, when I think about diversity, I think about the fact that diversity is a fact. When we think about inclusion, we think about inclusion being a choice. And I think if we can succeed in anything at the Big East is to impress upon everyone how inclusion isn't just a choice but a responsibility.
The Big East is committed to continuing the development of programs and initiatives that support diverse and inclusive environments for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and communities.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Halftime here in Hamden, Connecticut. Scoreless 30 minutes in the books between Old Dominion and UConn in the final of the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championship presented by Jeep. Well, when you have a scoreless first 30 minutes, you kind of have to wonder yourself, where is the offense going to be coming from? We take a look at your first half stats thus far, and it's really due to the work of the goalkeepers, as Cam McGillivray has done a nice job fending off a couple of penalty corners. 6 total shots from the Huskies, 4 on goal, but McGillivray has been solid up to this point. Meanwhile, for Old Dominion, still looking for their offense to go to work. However, they have shown themselves to be potent at times to hit on the counter. Well, this is also championship tournament time as well here in the Big East, and we've already had a couple in the book thus far. Cross-country season has come to an end in conference play. Congratulations to Butler on the Big East women's side for winning the league trophy, and on the men's side, Villanova coming home with the title. So congratulations to those two teams for picking up the season-ending trophy. But we are not done, because just in a couple of weeks' time, it will be volleyball championship weekend as we head up to the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee for the volleyball semifinals and finals. Make sure to get your tickets today at bigeast.com/VBtickets or call the Marquette University ticket office at 414-288-4668. When we come back, we'll have the start of the third quarter right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience, when soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter, and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, Monarchs innovate and push each other further. Rain on. See how Monarchs reign.
To stop coaching, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to go cold turkey. I was able to start the Big East Conference, and we came across the sky like a meteor.
One recruiting year that they had that really turned everything around was the Ewan Mullen Pinckney recruiting year. It changed the face of Eastern basketball probably forever.
We just believed in ourselves, and a lot of hard work on everybody's part.
Every March, Madison Square Garden is home to everything that is college basketball.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
How's the weather? Yeah. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard, but we ain't gonna stop.
lightly. There were questions early on about whether the Big East could withstand the test of reconfiguration. And I think if you were here, we've done that and more.
It's a monster league now. Last man standing, bring the flag. Tough to coach in, but great for spectators and great to play in. The march of the Big East goes on.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
Moments away from the start of the third quarter here between Old Dominion and UConn in the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championships presented by Jeep. Alongside Kirsten Gebhardt, who, by the way, should probably mention this, a 3-time All-Patriot League member and a very happy member of formerly American University as an alum. Well, your team's dancing right now.
We're very excited. What a relief. So happy. Just secured their PLTC.
There you go. Patriot League Tournament Championship.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's right.
Love a good acronym. I'm JJ Duke, and moments away from sending it down to Megan Caffrey as she'll provide an update from the coaches. And, as we go throughout this latter stage of this second half, you always say championship games is either going to be a mistake or a moment of brilliance. It's going to be curious to see what will happen. We now send it down for Megan for an update from the coaches.
Thanks, JJ. UConn was 0 for 4 on penalty corners in the first half, and head coach Nancy Stevens told me she really wants to see better execution from her team in that half. As for the Monarchs, well, head coach Andrew Griffiths told me he wants to see his team play with a lot more composure and discipline. It's been a really physical game thus far. Also, a quick injury update for you. Erin Huffman was out on the sidelines in crutches. She had that right ankle wrapped up in ice.
Thank you so much, Megan. Yeah, again, that's disappointing for Huffman. It's so tough, right? Senior coming in, getting a chance to play in a tournament final, and not more than 6 minutes into the game, come down with an injury. So hopefully just a speedy recovery there for Aaron as we're underway. UConn wearing their white jerseys, Old Dominion in their dark jerseys, now going from left to right. And Kirsten, as we've seen now throughout the course of the first 30 minutes, both teams are almost countering each other out. UConn playing the long ball, something that's not always their game. And Old Dominion, well, that's just easy for them. They see it in practice every day. So what's going to take for either of these teams to break through?
I mean, it all comes down to finishing. Whenever they're getting into the circle, they really need to get some returns. So we need shots. We need to get some fouls so that we can have some attack penalty corner options. And we need to test these two really excellent keepers. But, that's what it's going to come down to, just finishing in the circle. They're both playing well in the midfield. So once we get into those attacking scoring opportunities, who's going to come out on top? It's really going to depend on who can just extend the cage, get some shots off, and really have a lot more chances inside the circle.
And this is the time where the coaches, really get their value. What do you say to your team in that halftime talk to either spur them on or change the tactics and make your group believe that what you're telling them is going to be the key to success? We know, of course, Nancy Stevens has truly been there, done that. She has earned just only 698 career victories all time. This is her 30th season at the helm of UConn. And for Andrew Griffiths, he knows how to be successful. He's gotten Old Dominion to this game before back in 2013. He's been with Lafayette, won 72 games there. But again, he has to go through UConn. It's a tough task.
I think they're probably having a similar approach. We heard Nancy Stevens talk in the beginning of the tournament that this young team, she wants to take the pressure off, not focus so much on the outcome and talk about having fun. And then in the break, Megan telling us that Andrew's talking to their team about keeping their composure. And you can tell that, the pressure got to them a little bit in the first half and there was a lot of physical play. So I actually think that halftime might have been to just temper some emotions, bring them back to their basics and their fundamentals and the game plans.
Sprecher has to kick away that cross from the near side. UConn trying to get it out. But again, we talk about the emotions of a game like this. And, when you look at these two programs, Kirsten, these are two of the most historically strong programs. Combined between the two teams, we have over 60 NCAA tournament appearances. Old Dominion have won 9 NCAA championships. UConn have won 5, but 3 in this decade. So both teams, do you rely on the history to help get you over the finish line? Sometimes it works in some games, but when you have two of the best all-time going at it, it really negates it. So you're going to have to really dig deep down in these two groups. And remember, UConn, as it's said so often, they're such a young group, so they don't really know any better.
Yeah, but I think that, those wins and those titles can give you a sense of confidence, a little bit of swagger, and in moments like this, it's something that you are going to have to fall back on. But I don't think there's any other game happening in this country today where you have two such storied programs going up against each other, and I think we might win for most national championships between two teams in the weekend this weekend.
Not only in field hockey, you could say that across a number of sports, can there be any, more national championships between two teams? Maybe if you get on women's soccer, North Carolina against like a UCLA, okay, I maybe could buy that one, but yeah, over 60, that's insane. Possession to the far side, and Kirsten was alluding to the fact that this is Championship Sunday. We have had 7 finals going on all throughout the day. Of course, the NCAA tournament will be revealed tonight, 10 p.m. You can watch it on ncaa.com. Of course, 10 automatic qualifier berths to the 9 conference tournament champions and the Ivy League champion, which is determined by the best regular season record in league play. That belongs to Princeton. What else is new?
Harvard has come around these last few years, and they've gone back and forth with Princeton, I think, over the last 4 years. For the Ivy League championship. And so, we talked earlier in the game about how you cannot use the backside of your stick. So, but when we get to the point where it's intentional and you're purposely stopping the play, and that clearly was an infraction there, then it can be elevated to a card. So,
and not only was it was elevated to a yellow card.
Which I think is the umpires just saying, we've noticed this whole game that things have been really chippy, and we're going to lay down the law here about any sort of infraction that is going to warrant a card. I think, since they've doled out a couple of greens, they're going to start moving a little bit more forward and forward. But that's going to be a real hit to ODU. I think it was 5 minutes they're going to be down a player.
Yep. That one came in around the 10:30 mark left to go. It's Alexandria Brewer stand out in the midfield for this Old Dominion group. But we've seen again today, doesn't matter if you're down a player, game almost opens up for you.
Yeah, they might be creating some more space for themselves, and especially with their press, it might be good to sort of settle back and not have to always be throwing somebody to pressure the ball. So we'll see how it works to their advantage. And I think UConn's going to really try and take it to them and put some pressure on their backfield now that they're up a player.
Sophie Hamilton, a little bit too much there as McClendon shielded. You talked about, again, those mistakes and trying to harness in. Players have to adapt to the style of the referees at the end of the day. And you'd have figured during that halftime team talk, the coaches would have said, okay, these are what the umpires are emphasizing. Make sure you don't, not to say fall into the trap, but make sure that you adhere to what they're calling. Well, we've had a couple of green cards for both teams thus far, and then Brewer picking up a yellow.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of indicative of nerves and the rivalry between these two teams. Those first few fouls, that it's coming in from behind, it's encroaching, it's knocking the ball away, it's some gamesmanship. But that yellow, that's a difference, more of a technical violation. It's interesting it got elevated to a yellow, but it's not something that we'd seen from any of the players thus far, that they were really trying to stop the play on their reverse stick. So it was an interesting choice, but it's definitely a warning.
Turn now for Ray, has an option with Boker, the keeper off her line, and she scores! From one end to the other, cometh the hour, cometh the Offensive Player of the Year in Svea Boker.
I mean, that was just some great patience on the ball under a lot of pressure, and we knew that Cam McGillivray was going to be an aggressive goalkeeper coming out, and Svea did such a great job of just picking up that rebound and knowing her angles, knowing where she needed to be. What a great reception to just block out the goalkeeper, get the ball coming across her body, a beautiful reverse hit, and she just put it perfectly in the far post.
So Svea Boker with the goal, Maddie Ray with the assist. That's her second assist of the tournament, now up to 4 points this weekend. And again, that comes up a player, and there's still going to be a bit more time the Old Dominion have to see the number 12, Alexandria Brewer, on the bench. Came about 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, I should say, into that card. And, well, this certainly opens up the little bit here. Old Dominion, though, they don't need to worry just yet. There is still a lot of time left for them to make something. Boker now over 50 points on the season. She's got 159 in her career.
And I think, you know, you can really pick up on how beautiful that ending skill was, her finishing skill of the shot. But what makes Svea such an incredible player is that reception. So it's not just stopping the ball and then moving it. She's letting it come across her body. She's setting the ball up perfectly, going towards cage to make her shot. Just absolutely cannot miss the target. So that's the elite skill that you're going to miss out on. It's not the finishing skill, but she has just a beautiful trap. She's such wonderful game awareness, and that's why she's the Offensive Player of the Year.
And similar to what we saw against Providence 2 days ago, once UConn scored their first, the game opens up and a chance here. Good stop, but it's put across and eventually scrambled home. Once again, Boker was right there to apply the finishing touch. It looked like McGillivray just got a piece of it, but it wasn't enough.
You know, and I think UConn's taking advantage of this tendency from McGillivray to be a little bit more aggressive, and it's just taking advantage of these bouncy balls in the circle, which are really hard for defenders to play and a lot harder for goalkeepers to read. But she came out, she cut down the angle, but that the UConn attackers are just right in the right place at the right time to make the finish.
So Boker from Auer in that one. That's now 2 goals for one of the nation's best forwards, as Svea now up to 20 goals on the season, bettering the mark that she had of 18 last year. And again, you mentioned it back in the second quarter, Kirsten. It's the cards that are going to make the difference, and right now it's hurting Old Dominion as they're still without Alexandria Brewer.
Yeah, and I think after that first goal, you could just really see a different level of confidence from this UConn team. They were crisp with their passing. Their body language is just slightly different, and you could tell from that behavior that they were ready to put it in once again. And ODU is still down a player, and I think limping a little bit from that. But as soon as she gets back out here, it'll be interesting to see how their press changes and what kind of pressure they get on the ball and what kind of attacking opportunities they create for themselves.
Goals coming in the span of 1:15 from each other. It was Boker from Ray and then Boker from Auer. But again, you know, when UConn had that game against Providence, where it's just so much pent up, just frustration to the fact that they couldn't get a goal in the first half. They had over a half dozen corners in the first half. Couldn't get it, but finally got the breakthrough. It's similar today, but now it seems that UConn just a little more relaxed. Old Dominion starting to tighten up.
UConn's strength really is in their attack penalty corner, so I think it was a little uncharacteristic that we didn't see one go in during that series. But, you know, they're lethal in every way, so they're playing these opportunistic goals, and especially with Svea leading the charge and the attack, they have a lot of variations and creativity that they can take advantage of in the attacking circle.
We are now back at the even strength as Brewer checks back onto the field, but again, the damage certainly has been done as UConn applying 2 goals. But a chance now for Old Dominion and a corner to come here. So you need a response. Old Dominion has a chance here, and this is their first corner of the match.
So you could see on that last play, the UConn defender was really holding down the stick of the ODU attacker. So she needs that line to goal, and she can apply pressure. But anytime that you're actually making any obstruction on the attacking player's stick, the umpire is well within his limits to elevate that to a penalty corner. So you can see there how she is, and you know that's some really great gamesmanship from UConn. She's trying to be subtle about it, but you know that was a very intentional way of slowing the play down.
We saw in the second semifinal on Friday, Old Dominion did score very, very quickly off of a corner coming against Liberty. They actually scored 2 in that match. Let's see what they go with here as Riley Taylor will insert. Birch, drag flick, blocked aside, still around, and another corner to come.
So the UConn defender put that ball up into the air, creating the danger. So that's an easy call for the umpire to make, that we're just going to have a repeat corner here. So you can see when it comes in and bobbles a little bit, the UConn player is the one that put it up in the air, and I think he might have even gotten her on batting the ball out of the air. If you're creating any sort of danger with the attackers nearby, it's going to be a repeat corner. But this is the second corner of the game for ODU, and that was a pretty straight shot. I think they were trying to get a sense of what the UConn defense is going to do. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do here now that they have that information.
Once again, Taylor inserts. Birch, near side, goes all the way through, so UConn didn't have to work too hard on that second corner. Now they can take a deep breath. And again, it's a similar story for Cheyenne Sprecher, like that match against Providence. Didn't have to do too much. Came up with 1 or 2 saves. Today, it's been similar story. Old Dominion have only put 2 shots, 1 on goal. Had to come up with it. The defense in front of her has done most of the work, and that's kind of almost throwing it back, Kirsten, to the UConn days of old, where it's just the goalie just sits around for, well, then 70 minutes. But now with the young team that is in front for UConn, Sprecher, 85 saves coming in. That's not usual UConn goalie numbers.
UConn has always had a really strong goalkeeper presence. Their assistant coach, Sherry Schultz, she is well respected in the coaching community for just how she approaches goalkeeping and teaches it, and UConn goalkeepers have just always been known as being really technically savvy and understanding the game really well, and a lot of that credit goes to Sherry and her work. And I think there are a lot of former UConn goalkeepers that have gone into the coaching ranks. I know one is Nina Klein, who's the associate head coach at Quinnipiac right now.
We go the other way, and I should correct that. There is 3 saves that Sprecher had in the semifinal, but really out of memory, don't have too much to choose from in terms of key saves or big saves. And now possession back to the Huskies, and the referee says too fast for Maddie Ray.
So when the ball goes up into the air, as it's coming down, if there is a clear receiver of the ball, she needs to be given a 5-yard radius to be able to settle the ball and play it. And when it's coming down into crowd, it's usually awarded to the defender, but the umpire on the other side of the field felt that it was really clear that UConn had sort of established the position and that they should have been given the opportunity to play the ball to the ground. So they've got that cleared up. I think they made the right call in the end.
This ball is going to go all the way through. UConn with a chance to make it 3, and they cannot. A great late stop there. And we go the other way, but a corner will get called. But that's brilliant last-ditch defending by Nicole Fredericks. I don't think even Dombrowski knew how open she was.
No, but she had the presence of mind as soon as the ball came into the circle that we had UConn just streaking into the circle to try and give the ball carrier some options. But really great defense from UConn or ODU, and it's just unlucky that it caught a foot there in the end.
It was Vivian Tucker, the one that was waiting for that pass to get to her, but gotta credit Fredericks. Right place, right time, did enough.
Absolutely.
Let's see what routine the Huskies come with here. Now, again, up a pair of goals, both coming from Boker in a 1:15 span. Could there be a third to come? On to Vert. Off the post! Second chance, still wide. That was Hamilton that had the extra look, but, well, sometimes you want to hear heavy metal. That time it wasn't the right one for the Huskies.
Yeah, and I think the ODU players are just having a little chat with the umpire on that first hit from the top of the circle on a corner. If it has a backswing, the ball has to be below the board. And I think they're asking her, was that a little high? It's hard to see from this angle, but I think it might have caught off a stick. But it'll be something she watches for the rest of the game.
Good shot that by Ray, and parried aside by McGillivray. Sorry to cut you off, Kirsten. But yeah, no, you are right, because that did look a little bit high off the effort, but certainly Cam McGillivray will be thanking that left post of hers if Old Dominion do come back into this game. She was certainly beaten ends up, was just staring at that ball, hoping that it would go wide.
Well, on a set piece like an attack penalty corner, the goalkeeper's job is to cover sort of the 2/3 of the cage that's on their stick side, and that's why you have a post player. So you'll always see one player at the base of the goalkeeper's feet or off of her glove side to cover that area that's a little bit harder for them to cover on the goal. So, she's looking over there. That's not necessarily her job. That's the post player. That's the one that's supposed to get those balls. But I think both of them were hoping that it was going to be called high by the umpire.
Tiedka takes that out. Still enough time here left in this quarter for Old Dominion to get something as Taylor will wind this into the area. Dangerous ball, and it just goes wide. Stretching was Tori Harwood, and all she needed to do was find correct contact, and we'd be back to 2-1. But UConn come away with it.
So I think it's been really great from both sides of the attack. When you have a ball carrier entering the circle from both UConn and ODU, you have all the other players really stretching to the goal to give them options. And so that was almost a goal because ODU's offside striker was just getting in the right position to be able to sweep up anything that came past the goalkeeper.
Another ball wound into the area, but it goes behind, and UConn can reset. That was a chance, though.
You can see she was in the right place, took an unlucky bounce, and what a great effort to get back on the ball and try and create another opportunity for her team in the circle.
I actually think Sprecher got a pad to that. I want to have a second look there if we can at some point, but yes, Sprecher might have thrown the left out, and if she did, well, that certainly is a defining moment because then it would have been an easy tap in for Harwood.
You can even see as the time's winding down here, we still have so much hockey to play, but UConn is taking just a little bit more time on the ball, trying to slow the game down, and obviously ODU is trying to do the opposite and just keep things moving quickly and use up as much of this time as they can.
Giveaway here, not too much time left, but UConn trying to get one more. Boker already with two, gets across a couple. Ray with the keeper just off of our line, stopped and put out just wide. Boy, Ray was looking for it, and a foul gets called. That will do it here for this third quarter, but UConn break the deadlock. 2 goals from the Big East Player of the Year offensively, Svea Boker. And the Huskies will go into the fourth stanza, leading by 2. Back in just a moment on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience, when soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter, and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, Monarchs innovate and push each other further. Rain on. See how Monarchs reign.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
15 minutes left to go in the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championship game. UConn with 2 goals, a minute 15 apart from each other in the third quarter. Svea Boker, well, you have to ask for the big players to rise up in the big games, and it's funny when you talk with Nancy Stevens, she knows she's got a lot of talented players, but it all just comes together. Today, it's coming together for Svea Boker. So it'll be Old Dominion now to restart. Again, they had a couple of half chances, and we did look back at that during the commercial break. There was a save from Cheyenne Sprecher off that chance from Riley Taylor. Took a deflection off of a UConn defender on the way through, but look at the left pad, just getting something to it right before Tori Harwood is able to apply the finishing touch. So that turns out, Kirsten, to be a really important stop from Cheyenne Sprecher.
Well, and that's just showing more heads-up goalkeeping from the UConn team. You know, she had to be aware that that player was coming to the circle. So she's aware of what's going on in her circle. It's a bouncy ball, so it's a tough technical save. And she also needed to know where to make her clear so that there wasn't another opportunity to come from ODU. So it was just really overall some solid goalkeeping.
Because if you think about it, Sprecher misses, Harwood puts it away. It's a 1-goal game with 15 minutes to go, and that's certainly where you'd see Old Dominion throw the proverbial kitchen sink at the Huskies. They still will have to, though, but they're chasing 2, not 1. As Harwood doesn't have too many players in the circle at the moment, tries to go through a pair of defenders. A heavy touch, however, Alexandria Brewer will send it back in. Chance now for Taylor, trying to tee it up, and it's knocked away out wide.
UConn's doing a great job on defense, but ODU is really putting a lot of pressure. They have some great stick skills. They're getting through a lot of UConn's defense, and they're really looking for that obstruction in the circle, so they're trying to throw the ball a little bit and show the umpire that these UConn defenders are really keeping them from getting to the ball. But I think in these last few scenarios, the umpire wants them to be a little bit closer to playing the ball. Sometimes when you throw it so far out in front of you, the umpire just doesn't think that you actually have the opportunity to play it, so they're not going to give you the foul.
It was a good start, though, from Old Dominion, applying the pressure. Play is on. Sprecher having to come out and make a big save. Taking away the chance from Ashley Thomas. Still here, Brewer back into the area. Loose in front. We go the other way, but Sprecher had to be very aware to that chance from Ashley Taylor. Ashley Thomas, my apologies.
Some athleticism on the baseline to be able to catch that ball out of the air and get a shot off on Sprecher. Well done from ODU.
My apologies, it was Ashley Thomas who had the one. Getting confused with Taylor and Thomas there. But yeah, Sprecher needing to come up and be aware. And again, those are the little plays. They don't always show up in the box score, but it's the moments where your goalie can have the confidence to make the right decision. And clearly that's why Cheyenne Sprecher is one of the best.
You can see a new energy coming out from this ODU team. They know it's the last quarter, and they know they need to be crisp, and they have to put UConn on their heels just a little bit so that they can get some chances off in the circle.
I think almost maybe the best defense for UConn is to have a good offense, get another goal just to perhaps put this one to bed. We'll restart back from the top of the 25. And Boker with 2 goals on the day thus far. Had an assist in the semifinal game against Providence College. A little bit of a slow development counter. This allows UConn to get back, and I think the message has to be from Coach Stevens is keep it simple defensively. If you commit numbers, make sure you get back.
Yeah, and the opposite is going to be true for ODU here. If they get the ball on attack, they really need to stretch the UConn defense so that they get some more numbers up and a few more chances.
Boker's gotten herself in, but a foul that goes against the Huskies. It almost seemed perfect as the sun breaks out through the clouds. The sun is shining the brightest on the star of the day, and Boker looking for her hat trick.
And we have ODU going back to what they were doing initially, keeping that one striker really high and try and stretch this game to open some more passing lanes up for their team.
Clarion Vert will trot all the way forward to restart this. We'll expect also as well the Huskies, once you get around the 6-minute mark, it's just going to be all about game management, something that the Huskies are all too familiar with this season, notching 17 victories over the course of 2019.
And I think you're soon going to start to see what is really just bread and butter for UConn. They're a great passing team. They have awesome structure. So it's just going to be being in a good backfield structure, working the ball around, eating up some time. And it's something they've always done well. They always have some great passers that keep the ball speed high and can very easily just keep the ball away from the press.
Riley Taylor finds Alexandria Brewer, who's gotten forward a couple of times here in this quarter. They'll come back out to the top of the 25. Remember, it was Brewer who took the yellow card at around the 10:30 mark in the third quarter. That allowed UConn with the player advantage for 5 minutes to register their goals. Rebecca Birch, to be fair to say, she's been relatively quiet coming forward. One of the team leaders of offense this year as a defensive midfielder. Hasn't had too many looks.
Looks like ODU is really going to try and trap the ball here in the corner. They're committing a lot of forwards and midfielders over to this side of the field to just really cut the field and turn UConn over close to their attacking third.
Good find ahead from Elise DeMars. Brewer. Foul just outside the circle, and a corner.
So there's just an example of that 5-yard rule. When she takes the free hit inside of the 25, there has to be 5 yards radius from both teams. So if she takes it quick, you just have to make sure you shadow and you can't approach the ball. And clearly the UConn defender there stepped in and tried to make a tackle when she hadn't been 5 yards away and the ball hadn't been moved 5 yards yet by the ODU attacker.
Now remember here, we talked about this in the semifinal between Old Dominion and Liberty. The low setting sun off to our left. Cheyenne Sprecher is going to be looking nearly directly into it. It is an element, not a big added one, but certainly one to watch for. Let's see what Old Dominion do here from this now corner number 3 of this championship. Riley Taylor to insert. DeMars, the drive, got caught up and will go the other way. That's a heads-up play as well by Courtney Kennedy, playing it here the near side, not even taking off the mask, and nearly sprung a counterattack. However, Old Dominion get right back in possession here.
Old Dominion's doing a great job defending. They're just recovering with their sticks on the ground, putting good pressure on the ball. And then when they're coming up with it, they're getting a foul, they're keeping the ball, they're keeping possession, which is exactly what they're going to need to do if they want to close the gap here.
And a green card getting shown to UConn's number 6, Marie Auer. It's the 3rd green card issued to a Husky this afternoon. And, well, this is the moment now. If you're Old Dominion, you're up a player. It doesn't get any better than this. Maybe perhaps the only thing better would be off of a corner.
I think being a player down is going to limit UConn's attacking opportunities because they're going to have to drop one of their strikers into the midfield. Clearly, ODU is on the front foot right now, so they're going to want to pack some defenders in and limit their chances in the attacking third. But I don't know if they're going to have a lot of chances offensively with a player down.
Good work there. That was Dembrowski to the far side, and now UConn might hit on a counterattack. Svea Boker has just only one option off to her left. Boker now drawing traffic of 3 players, and it's a foul against the Huskies. To be fair, I thought it hit Boker's foot about 5 seconds earlier than that. But it will be back possession to the Monarchs. However, nearly a minute has gone off the green card to Marie Auer.
ODU is just fully committed to getting the ball back when they lose it. They're doing a lot of group tackling. There's people coming in from behind, staying in the play. There's just a lot of hustle from the Monarchs right now.
Great step by Marley McClendon. That pass gets through from Hamilton. Boker's once again in on goal. Good stop in the midfield by Lindsey Dixon. Foul gets called as Mia Fucci was impeded in her progress.
I really like the way they're keeping the ball. ODU is coming up with it defensively, working on their small game and keeping it. But as time winds down, they're going to really want to have to take these free hits a little bit quicker, maybe play the ball, some more long balls into the circle to just create some chaos and put some pressure on the UConn defense.
And speaking of adding extra defensive pressure from UConn, they don't often take out Svea Boker. A little bit of a respite here, but utilizing a defender, an extra defender for her, but we're back to even strength now as Auer comes out. You figure that Boker will get a respite up until about the 4-minute mark and then have her just run and run and run and run for the remainder of this game. Brewer. Once again, but no, we're going to go the other way here. So foul against Old Dominion, and UConn now back to even strength. Happily take as much time as they can before they have to send it back in.
Well, we've seen it a lot this game. Field hockey is a really 3-dimensional game. You can throw the ball in the air, you can lift it over people's sticks, but if you lift it just a little too high on your dribble, then that's going to go against you as it's perceived to be a bit dangerous and hard to defend from a defender. So just keeping it fair, and that was the right call from the umpire. Just lifted it right into her body.
6 minutes left to go here in this championship game, and 2 goals from Svea Boker, the Big East Offensive Player of the Year in the 3rd quarter. That's the difference thus far. Old Dominion certainly surging late on, but they've still really yet to test the UConn goalkeeper, Cheyenne Sprecher. They have gotten shots on cage, but certainly not enough to test the UConn netminder. Great turn from Taylor. She's been outstanding this weekend. But UConn once again will just work it here at the near side. Once again, UConn will reset it back to the top.
You know, we've had a lot of really great performances from all the players out here, but I've been impressed with Abby Gooderman. She's been doing a good job as that cover defender. She doesn't typically have a mark, but she's staying in the line to goal. She's come up with some great intercepts, and she's got a nice long reach. So in clutch moments, she's come up with some really great tackles.
Kirsten, I have to wonder right now, when does Old Dominion take on McGillivray?
It's a great question. It's got to be something on the coaching staff's mind. I don't know if it's something they've done a lot this season. It's definitely a structural piece that you have to have practice, but it's something that they're considering without a doubt.
Right, as about as I figured. Boker back onto the field, takes about a 3-minute breather, and her job, along with Maddie Ray and the rest of the UConn attack, is just to run, and whenever they have the chances, just to cause chaos in the back. Not allow Old Dominion just easy restarts. However, it'll be UConn to get possession here.
Yeah, we have 16 Tori Harwood standing on the sideline without someone really coming off. She's an extra striker for ODU, so you had to think that the next right stoppage of play, Coach Griffiths is going to ask the umpire to take the goalkeeper out.
Well, Harwood comes on, but the keeper stays on. So not just yet. But you have to figure for Old Dominion, once they get possession and a stoppage, mind you, in a good position, yeah, McGillivray has to come off.
Yeah, I thought I saw Coach Griffiths signaling to the umpire, but it looks like it was for something else. So at the moment, it doesn't look like anything about pulling the goalkeeper is really on the table for ODU.
And you see Cam McGillivray, who's been very, very good this afternoon. 6 saves. We're hoping that her offense can now get Old Dominion back into this game. And the first time they've reached the Big East Tournament Championship game since 2013. Looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since the same year.
And sometimes these long balls that the UConn attackers are throwing over the sidelines, it's good to press, and it looks like we are going to see Cam McGillivray come off the field for an extra ODU field player. Now, in the past, we've had the ability to have a kicking back, so one player would have a penny on and she could use her feet in the circle without any penalty going against her. That was wiped away by the FIH a couple years ago, and the NCAA coaches elected to go that route as well. So it is just truly an extra field player with no other extra capabilities on the field.
But again, now with Old Dominion seeing their cage unguarded, they have to get the ball into the circle, have to take chances here. If you're going to go down, you go down swinging.
They really do, and they've been in this attacking third a lot. They've done a good job of really stopping the UConn attack, and I don't know if we've really seen UConn cross the 25 in the last 5 minutes. So the ODU coaches felt strongly enough that they have enough, the risk versus reward here, that it was time to take the goalkeeper out.
Yeah, absolutely. And for UConn, it's not needing a third goal. They just have to keep the ball away from their defensive goal as long as possible. It seems elementary, but it's championship game. Fact of the matter is, as long as you don't see Old Dominion with possession, life's good.
And as elementary as it is, it's not an easy task, especially when you have such a strong ODU defense. Keeping the ball away is not easy, but it is a strength of UConn. They're always a team that keeps the ball well, moves it well around the field, has good structure, and good passing speed as well.
Well, UConn had an opportunity to carry forward, but it's a foul against Old Dominion. Now under 100 seconds left to go here. In Old Dominion, it has to just be route one. Nothing fancy, just get the ball into the circle.
It's a great split ball that's going to just it's just forcing the UConn defense to have to shift and adjust their structure when we have the ball going all the way across the field. So it was a great play from number 17, Jess Miller.
Again, even this Old Dominion taking too long to get the ball back in. Now they do find an option. Comes all the way through to the near side. That's smart defensive work there. Doesn't have to be fancy, but the job done by Lindsey Dickinson. And ball back into the circle, but too high. And now UConn, they start to see the finish line is in sight. It's under a minute to go in the fourth quarter.
As frustrating as this is for the ODU attack, I think they're doing a great job of really putting some quality opportunities in the hands of their strikers. They have great stick skills. They're attacking the right spaces, but they just they're facing a strong UConn defense.
Under 30 seconds, and for Old Dominion, this is really last chance saloon here. They have to get the ball into the circle and mess about. UConn now anywhere will do, and they get it away from danger. It was certainly a gallant effort from Old Dominion coming in. They got the win over their local rival Liberty, but UConn once again stand the tallest in the Big East field hockey circuit. They are the champions of the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Tournament.
They've played so well in this tournament. They've been great, across the board, front to back. Their attack is taking advantage of some great opportunities. They're awesome on set pieces. Their midfielders, great distributors. Defenders, solid defense, great structure. And, of course, Cheyenne Sprecher had a great game, making some really important heads-up plays.
Heads-up plays. She will be registered officially for 3 stops. And the goals came at the right moment, and that's what you have to get in a championship game. Svea Boker had both of them. We'll have a word with her when we come back. You're watching the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championships presented by Jeep.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Ignite us, enlighten us, show us the brilliance of what's possible when courageous ambition joins valued experience. When soaring talent collides with the will to succeed. It's here, where diversity of thought makes outcomes shine brighter and resilience sparks success in the careers of tomorrow. At Old Dominion University, Monarchs innovate and push each other further. Rain on. See how Monarchs reign.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Certainly hugs are flowing here on the campus of Quinnipiac University as for now the 8th consecutive season, the University of Connecticut are the Big East Field Hockey Tournament champions. We now send it down to Megan Caffrey, who is standing by with Svea Boker.
Thanks, JJ. Svea, your team turned it on in the second half. 2 goals coming from you. What was the difference in the second half to claim yourselves Big East Tournament champions?
We just wanted to come out and really win the game, and I think you saw that. We were more aggressive in the second half, and yeah, the team played really well, and they set me up to score the goals.
I saw Coach Stevens come over to you and say something personally to you in the post-game huddle. What'd she say to you?
Great game, but it was a team effort. She congratulated us for staying resilient and, yeah, for the great game.
Svea, it's your senior season. You were earned Big East Most Outstanding Player of the tournament. You're the Big East Offensive Player of the Year. You scored both goals in the title game. How would you describe your senior year as a Husky?
It was definitely a good season for me, or a good career, but I really couldn't have done it without my teammates. They are just, setting me up to be good.
Thank you so much, Svea. We'll bring in your teammate, Cheyenne. You said you couldn't do it without your teammates. No. You couldn't do it without Cheyenne in net. How was this game for you today, Cheyenne?
It was really exciting, I think. Every Big East championship the intensity is just crazy. So I think today was just that caliber, and it sets us up right for postseason. So it's awesome.
When I say Big East tournament champion, what comes to mind?
Excitement, intense. UConn Huskies.
What's next for this UConn Huskies team?
I don't know. Hopefully more championships.
Well, go celebrate with your teammates. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. JJ?
Thank you to Megan, as well as Svea Boker, and as well as Cheyenne Sprecher, in an outstanding tournament. And yeah, you hear it, and that's a common theme, Kirsten, with this UConn group. It's a selfless group. They play for each other. Nancy Stevens also talks about it often, how this is not an experienced group. She has played and started up to 7 freshmen and sophomores, but they always find a way. It doesn't matter who's on the field. They just find a way to get it done.
Yeah, the roster is just filled with talented players from all over the world, and especially in a year like this where they're starting 7 freshmen or sophomores, the upperclassmen and the coaching staff really are, I think, giving those younger players the confidence to play their game and just have fun. We heard Nancy Stevens talk a lot about it before the tournament started, that they don't want to be too focused on outcomes this year, and they want to be focused on the experience and really just creating a great atmosphere for their younger players. And obviously, as a result of those things, they're able to honor and celebrate their upperclassmen with championships like this one.
So we're going to look back at this game right here as we'll keep it going through the awards presentation. As UConn it wasn't an easy game. This tournament probably was a bit more demanding. They won't fully admit it, I don't think, the coaching staff, but it was a bit more demanding than they anticipated coming in, because they got an outstanding game against Providence. And I think you and I can both agree that was the best game of the 3 that we had in the tournament in terms of competitiveness. And then today, Old Dominion puts up an outstanding fight. The first time that they've been in this championship game since 2013. But it was just the one moment, is the unfortunate yellow card assessed to Old Dominion's Alexandria Brewer, and then UConn just capitalized on the moment.
Yeah, I think talking to the UConn coaching staff, there was never a moment. I think they always they're the University of Connecticut in field hockey. They're always going to have a level of confidence, but there was never a point in this tournament that those coaches didn't give just the utmost respect to their opponents. They scouted them very well. They knew the game plan back and forth, and they were prepared to just set up their team for success. And I think they did a really great job of scouting the ODU group today. They were ready for the aerial balls into the circle, those long balls, and they did a good job of just setting up their structure to sort of negate the strengths of the ODU group. Not for lack of effort. ODU had a great game today. They really focused on their structure. They did well, and those couple moments where they're down a player, I think it took a little bit of the wind out of their sails.
So now, as Megan asked earlier, what's ahead? What do we look ahead here? Because we'll find out at 10 p.m. tonight on NCAA.com the bracket reveal, as this is Championship Sunday across NCAA field hockey. We're going to learn the 4 hosting teams that will host games in the first and second round, or the quarterfinal round, really. UConn came into this tournament ranked 3rd in the final poll. In the RPI, they're 4th. It's been chaos all across NCAA field hockey. You and I were just kind of scrolling through, seeing what's happening elsewhere, who could do what. Could there maybe be some upsets that will come through and change things completely? Look at the Big Ten. It's absolutely chaos over there, with Iowa taking on Penn State, the 5 seed in that tournament. But for UConn, have they done enough to earn a hosting bid?
It'll be time will tell. Tonight is when we're going to find it out. It's not, there's so many factors at play. It's not just the RPI. I think there are a lot of other things that are under consideration. So it'll be a really exciting show at 10 o'clock, because, like you mentioned, the Big Ten tournament, there are a lot of upsets, a lot of unexpected successes this weekend. So So it'll be exciting to see where everybody falls at the end of the night tonight.
So we're seeing the awards getting presented now, as we'll have the all-tournament team. We'll have representatives from both teams pick up the major trophies. That would be the runner-up and, of course, the tournament champions trophies. And we've been handed both the all-tournament team and the most outstanding players. You've already found out Svea Boker was awarded the honor, had an assist in the semifinal, 2 goals in this championship game. A deserving player, and you look across the UConn 5 that were given awards to, in the all-tournament team, I think any one of them could have truly gotten it. It just happened to be Boker's day today.
It was her day today, but they all stepped up in really big ways this tournament, whether it was, scoring goals and attacking penalty corners or just all the way to the back, holding down the structure and the cover and the cage for the UConn Huskies. So everybody from the UConn team that was awarded all tournament honors is certainly deserving, but I think it was as they keep saying, a really team effort.
So they're going to be awarding the runner-up trophy in the tournament to Old Dominion. And, this has been a great season for Andrew Griffith's group. Missing out on the tournament last year, and talking to him in the build-up to this, he was saying about how disappointing it was for the group not to make it into the postseason. They just had a couple of bad days to have bad days, including a loss in the regular season finale to Villanova that saw them miss out. So it was just that sense of relief knowing that they got here, and I know there's plenty to build upon this group. And it starts with their goalie, Cam McGillivray, who's been so good all year long.
Yeah, and you can't overlook their center back, Marley McClendon. She did such an amazing job today. She stepped up huge. She was covering the backfield very well, and I think she had some really excellent distribution choices today that generated a lot of ODU's attack.
So UConn will now be awarded their championship trophy. And again, this is now 8 straight years that UConn have won this, and it's also the 19th time that they've won this championship tournament trophy as well. Once again, Nancy Stevens and her coaching staff, they always seem to find the right recipe to make it work when it comes to November. They know that this is not going to be their last game, as they will have also earned the automatic qualifier spot into the NCAA tournament out of the Big East. But certainly this is going to be a day, and it's going to be a short drive back to Stores as well, so plenty of time to enjoy this one. But the second season truly starts tomorrow when they find out where they'll be playing in the NCAA tournament.
And as young as this team is, you've got a very seasoned coaching staff here. They've said it many times. Nancy Stevens is in her 30th year for the UConn Huskies, but her coaching staff, the coaching staff of the conference this year with Paul Caddy and Sherry Schultz, they've been there for 18 years. They started on the same year together and have, they've really found the right recipe for success in Stores.
That picture right there, that's the one that you want. Well, maybe for UConn, it's the second one that they want, because, of course, the national championship trophy is one as well. But that one is going to be hung up in the coach's office, no doubt, at some point soon. They're going to be announcing the all-tournament team, and we'll also stay tuned as well for the most outstanding player before we say goodbye. But we'll just go through the all-tournament team right now. Lydia Rice was the Providence winner, the outstanding goalie yesterday. Just had a great game. Lizzie Hamlet suffered an unfortunate injury in Liberty's loss, but did such a good job in that. And then for Old Dominion, Rebecca Birch, Marley McClendon, as we said before, had that outstanding goal line save. Just batted one out of the air to keep her team in it. And then McGillivray and Nicole Fredericks, who had a goal in the semifinals as well, get it on the all-tournament team for Old Dominion. Sprecher, Boker, Sophia Hamilton, Maddie Ray, and Antonia Tiedka all get all-tournament team honors. And when I read across those names, as we said before, that's 3 freshmen and sophomore. They're going to be coming back, and it's going to be a great crew and a great core that Nancy Stevens will have to build upon. As you're seeing more of the trophies that are handing out, and now it's the UConn players that will be getting their all-tournament team awards. Cheyenne Sprecher, again, her 10th solo shutout of the season. And Kirsten, she's going to have to really even continue to rise her game over the next 2 weekends.
And I think we saw it from her today that when she's under pressure, she really delivers. This is a shutout in the championship game for your conference. It's a really huge performance for her, and I think I'm sure her and her coaches can say that she's poised and ready for success in the next phase of this season. She just does such a great job of organizing her defense in the circle, reading the angles, kind of understanding where all the attacking options are set up, and then when she makes a save, clearing it into a space where she can generate some attack for her team, or at least put it in a space where there's just no risk to her. So she's done a great job this whole season, and it was really on display this weekend.
So they're now awarding the most outstanding player of the tournament. Svea Boker will be getting another piece of hardware to add to that enormous collection she has. Remember, the offensive player of the year in the league, picking up this trophy, and now she is registered just 161 career points over 3+ seasons.
Is that it? That's
just
it?
161. But a well done, of course, to the University of Connecticut, and of course, congratulations as well for Old Dominion on an outstanding 2019 season. So that's going to do it here for us. Thanks again, as always, for tuning in to the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. Thanks to our outstanding crew as well, and for the broadcast team of Megan Caffrey, my partner Kirsten Gebhardt, JJ Duke signing off. University of Connecticut are the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Tournament champions. We'll see them in the NCAA tournament starting next week. Until next time, goodbye for now.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us.